Well, hello there, fabulous Robins. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to another AMA, which is Ask Me Anything. I'm really excited. We don't usually do this on Sundays because Sundays are a very busy day for me. I've got Young Adult Edition in just a little bit, which is where I bring on some amazing authors to my live broadcast show, Young Adult Edition live.readingtransforms.com, and we talk to them about their books. And then I've got RTTV, which is Reading Transforms TV, and we bring on some amazing book world people to educate authors on marketing, branding, and social media strategy. So Sundays are very busy for me. I had a little bit of a shift in my schedule today though, and I had just a little bit of free time right now, and I wanted to pop on and do an AMA with you guys. So I'm really excited. Our last AMA was kind of awesome, and really, like, a lot of people came and participated, so I was really excited to see all of you. You are joining me now. Drop it down in the comments below. Let me know who you are, and ask me your questions. Pretty much anything goes. You can ask me about Golden, you can ask me about Jaded, you can ask me about being a writer, or you can just ask me questions in general. So if you are joining me right now, go ahead, drop your name below because it does not tell me who you are. I see that people are signing on, but I don't know who you are. So you got to let me know in the comments that you have joined me. So today during this AMA, I've got some really great questions. I did have a few people who were not able to make it today that did write in with some questions. So I do have a list of things that I am going to be going through as well. But if you are here live, ask me your questions now. So anything goes. You can ask me about Golden. It is now out. It's available. A lot of you have already finished the book. If you have questions, ask me. If you want to know about my brand new series, Jaded, which comes out this June, totally different series, you can go ahead and ask those too, although I can't give away too many secrets on that one. You can ask me about being a writer. You can ask me about social media strategy. If you are an author who needs to learn about these things, you can ask me pretty much anything. So go ahead, hit me up with those questions. And if you are watching the rebroadcast, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you want to know. And I will write these things down and do another broadcast to get those answered for you later this week or in the coming months if you are watching this quite a bit after we've done it. So go ahead, let me know what questions you have. And I want to jump into a question from Kate. She says, Eden is fascinating. Will we learn more about her in the sequel? So Kate, yes. Eden is one of my favorite characters. I love her because she has so much baggage. We know that when we meet Eden, she's going through an awful lot. She's been brought into the Bears community. She married Berwin. She is Dove's sister-in-law, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot that has been happening, and she just has so much going on. We know she's got some anger issues. We know she's dealing with a lot from her past, and while we do unpack some of that baggage that she has, there is so much more that we can tell you about. I can't give you too many details right now because I know that there are some people who are still in the process of reading Golden. It's only been out for like 2 weeks, and so I don't want to give away too much of what we go into in the first book, but you know, this girl has a background, this girl has a history, and it is informing every single thing that she's doing, and I love her. You know, she's this rough girl. She's very rough around the edges. She's not going to mince words. She, says what she thinks, and she does what she feels, and she does have these quiet moments where she's very calm and very quiet, and she makes a good point. She knows how to take care of the people around her, but there's so much more, and so we will be seeing more of her, maybe not right away in the sequel, because things are a little interesting at the end of the book. Can't really say anything about that yet because people are still reading, but based off of where we leave off in book 1, because it is a trilogy, that we're going to be in an interesting position for book number 2. So we will be seeing more of her throughout the rest of the trilogy, and I'm really excited because I absolutely love Eden. She's very unique, very interesting, and she has a place in my heart that I really love. I'm seeing that I'm just going to pull up this on my other phone because I'm not really seeing all the comments working correctly, and I know the other day I had an issue with some of the comments, so I'm just going to pull this up and see what is going on. But leave me those questions. I've got some really great ones that I'm going to be answering today and some things I'm going to be giving away, but I just want to double check to make sure I'm not missing anything because I definitely discovered that I missed some conversations the other day when I was on live, and I don't want to do that again, so we're just going to wait for this to pull up. Okay. Nate wants to know, I've heard you say in interviews that you write real-life experiences into some of your books. Can you tell us about that? Yes, I can tell you about that, Nate. Um, there we go, almost got it. I can tell you about that, Nate. I do write some real life experiences into my stories, not an awful lot, and what I do write in, I twist a lot because I don't necessarily want it to be my life. This is not a story about me, but I do take things that I've experienced and I write them into the books in a unique way. So as far as Golden goes, I didn't write too terribly much of my real life experiences into it. Um, I mean, Illyria and I both do have really long hair. We do get smacked in the face when we turn around quickly with our very long hair, so it's kind of fun. I identify strongly with Illyria, and so a lot of, kind of how we do things is similar, but I didn't write too many things into Golden. Now, Jaded, I definitely have a couple of real life personal stories that I wrote into this book that really informed how she was doing things and the way she was doing things. I can't give away too much, but there's a scene that involves a butterfly, and that happened to me. And that is all I'm going to say about that. So there's your teaser for that. When you get to that scene, please be aware that I experienced that live and in person. In Jaded, you're going to see that she has some specific character traits that are very similar to me. She is allergic to a lot of things. She's allergic to flowers, she's allergic to candles, she's allergic to scented things. And that is something that is very representational of me in my life. I am allergic to everything. It's a really bad situation for me, and nobody ever talks about that. Like, people talk about food allergies, and they talk about allergies when they touch things and whatever, but nobody ever talks about scent allergies, to my way of thinking. I've never experienced anyone understanding of what I'm going through. So I put it in a book. Sometimes when you don't get recognition for certain things in life, you put them in a book. That's the way it goes. So I know in a lot of books, like, people write that girls are cutting their hair off, or they don't have that long hair, or they're unique because they have short hair, or they are not girly and they don't wear dresses and they don't want to wear dresses, they want to wear pants and whatever. But that's not very representational of me. And so I like writing girly girls. I like writing girls like Illyria, who prefers to wear a dress over pants. She's the option of doing either, and she prefers dresses, very similar to me, and I don't see that in literature, in movies, in society very much. So I kind of write that in there. And so I gave Jade those allergies that are very similar to me so that people could be aware that, we're not being snotty about things. It's just that sometimes we're allergic to your candles or your aftershave or your perfume or whatever. So I kind of wrote that in there, and I let that influence the book. Now I am going to check this to see what's going on right now. Looks like I've got a comment that it did not show me. Ah, Freedom's here! Hey, lovely to be here. Just wondered if you have any rituals or must-haves when you're preparing during a writing session. Also, pen and paper, or just computer program? Good question, Freedom, and it's a good thing I have this phone here that I could check my comments. Okay, so as far as rituals for writing or preparing for a writing session, I don't think so. I think it's just grab the computer, sit down and write. I do have to be in a quiet environment. I cannot listen to music while I'm writing unless it does not have words, or it's a song that does not have words at all. So if you have an instrumental version of a song that has words to it, I can't do that because I will sit there and sing. So I will listen to some music sometimes, but usually I tend to be pretty quiet about things. I can't really have a lot going on in the background, or I will get distracted by singing or talking or whatever. So it doesn't need to be a quiet environment. I don't know, I guess I just write at any time during the day. I do not necessarily write at specific times. So I'm kind of, when I have time to write, I write. So there will be times when I will be sitting at my dining room table, which is where I work. It's kind of my work area. And I will pop my feet up on the two chairs over to the sides, and I will just type away. There are other times when it's late at night, I will go and sit at the desk in my room and I will work there. Or I will prop myself up on a bed or a couch and I will write there. But I don't necessarily have a strategy to this, although I take that back. I do take that back because I do. When I am writing, I have a very set process for how my screen is formatted. So I will have 3 screens up: my manuscript, my character list, and my synopsis of what I'm doing. So I actually go through and I bullet point every single thing that happens in my story. So the screens are very much like this. Manuscript is on one side, and then the characters are next to that, and then the order of the scenes that are happening are next to that. And I always keep that character list because I have listed the character's first and last name and any information I give about them. So every time I add a new detail, eye color, hair color, things that they like to say, something about their background, something about where they live, all of that goes into this list, and there are 3 separate documents, and I have them there to reference, which is a huge bonus because as I'm working with my artist who is creating fan art and doing some really cool things for me, when she needs descriptions of people, I can just pull up that list. I don't have to go searching through my entire book. So I have that list of characters that I am using, and I can reference that whenever I need to remember eye color or words that they say or where they're from or how tall they are or their hair color or their hairstyle or whatever it is. Yes, so that is my setup for that. And the second part of your question was about paper and pen or computer. I am a computer girl. I'm a very digital person. Everything I do is very digital based. So always computer for me. I take notes on my phone. I take notes on my computer. I do have index cards full of notes when I need them, but I always make sure I transfer them over to some type of digital place because that helps me to move my information back and forth. So back when I was teaching, on my breaks, on my lunch breaks, I used to sit there and actually write on my iPad, and I would have to transfer it over to my computer to keep everything in one running place. So I'm a very digital person. But I also have managed to injure my wrists over the years between all of my different jobs and all the different things that I do. I use my wrists way too much, and so it's actually at the point where it's incredibly painful for me to use my hands now. So crocheting hurts when I do that. When I write on paper, it hurts. When I was teaching and I would write on the board at school, it would hurt. So typing is the least painful of all the things that I could do. So one more reason for me to be a digital person. All right, let me refresh this while I'm looking. And I will answer another question. Connie wants to know, who is your biggest fictional crush? Oh boy, Connie. See, Connie actually sent this in earlier to me today as I'm waiting for this to refresh. And that's a really hard question. My biggest fictional crush. It's a very hard question because there's so many good book boyfriends out there, and it's kind of not fair that I have to narrow it down. So I think I came up with 2. And I mean, I'm not gonna say my own book, but definitely if I were to say my own book, Dove Bear would be it. He's from Golden. I'm also, if I were going with my own books, there is a book that it was actually the very first book I ever wrote that I will have to do a ton of work to if I ever want to actually publish it anywhere. It might just be a me thing. But there are some book boyfriends in there that are to die for. I love them. So I'm a little bit obsessed with that. But of my books, Dove Bear and then those guys from that first one. For other books, I'm a big fan of 4 from the Divergent series. So I don't think Charlotte's hanging out with us today from Charlotte Reads Things, but she and I had this connection from Divergent. And we frequently talk about Divergent, the books and the movies, and our opinions on them, and we both have a different opinion on which guy we like from the series, and we send each other comments and inside jokes, and she actually watched Divergent yesterday, the movie, and so she was sitting there sending me snaps with comments about, 4 and some of the other people, so it was really very fun. So 4 from Divergent is definitely a huge crush for me for fictional characters. I also really like Cole from the Branded series. Well, it's a Sinner series, but the first one is called Branded, and I just call it Branded, which is by Abby Kettner and Missy Kalikiki, and he's kind of awesome. And so if you have not read that, I always recommend that book to my students and to my friends. I call it the next Hunger Games of Divergent. So if you have not read that series, check it out. First book is called Branded, and I just love it. I totally love it. I'm a huge fan of dystopians, and Cole's kind of awesome. So, fictional crushes. I did it, Connie. There you go. All right. Refreshing this baby again because it kind of moved on me. All right. When does Jaded come out, and is it connected to Golden? Great question. Okay, Jaded comes out in June. June 27th is going to be the release of Jaded, which is my brand new series. It is part of the Jaded duology, so 2 books in this series, and It is not connected to Golden at all. It is not connected in any way to Golden, although I have had other authors ask me if I would consider doing some kind of mashup thing where my characters meet and have some kind of connection, so that is kind of something that would be interesting to do. I think I might talk a little bit about that maybe in my street team at some point, so if you're interested in that, streetteam.k.m.robinsonbooks.com, you can kind of check that out. Don't know when that's going to happen. Jaded actually has to come out first, I would think, but it would be kind of interesting to have imagined connections or something. So, Jaded is a very, very interesting story that does come out in June. I'm really excited to share this story with you. She is another very strong character who finds herself in a very bad situation. She has to kind of figure out how to survive it. So, because we are kind of talking about Jaded, and I figured that this was coming, I actually have the write-up for Jaded, which I haven't talked about very much. So, this is kind of the first time I've really publicly talked about Jaded. I have mentioned it a little bit in my book launch live party, and in the last couple of days I've mentioned a bit, but I have been focused on Golden, so now let me tell you just a little bit about Jaded, and let me read this right up to you. Her father failed in his mission to take control from the commander, a defeat that has cost Jade her life. She will die as punishment. Now she belongs to the commander's son, as his wife. Knowing his intent is to quietly kill her in revenge, Jade's every move is calculated to survive, until she learns her death ensures the safety of her father and her entire town. Roan doesn't want to kill Jade, but once his family isolates her from her father and community, his only choice is to go through with the plan. Jade doesn't make it easy as she tries to sway him into falling for her. Smart girl, right? Each misstep makes him question his cause. Each moment makes every decision harder, but the commander won't allow him to fail. One chooses life, one chooses death. In the midst of chaos, only one will succeed. So that's kind of a little bit of an informational moment about Jaded. It's going to be very interesting, I think. I do know where I'm going with this for the second book. Actually, I have the entire Golden series and Jaded series figured out, so I kind of know what's going on. I know a lot of you are asking me about Endgame for Golden. We'll get there. We will get there. But Jaded comes out in June. It's going to be really awesome. We're putting the finishing touches on the cover now, so that is coming out soon. Speaking of, if you want to join me for my cover reveal for Jaded, that is at the end of this month, the 8th of April. You can sign up to help me reveal my cover by going to jadedcoverreveal.k.m.robinsonbooks.com. You'll be the first to see it. We are going to be doing some behind the scenes stuff. It's going to be really awesome. And if you are a really awesome blogger or booktuber who wants to help me reveal this cover, get in connection with me because I have some really cool extra bonus things for you that we can put out on your blog or your channel to kind of get extra viewers that other people are not going to be getting. So I do have some exclusives for you. So if you're interested, let me know. We will get you connected with that, and I will get you some extra bonus freebie exclusive loveliness. It's going to be great. Okay, let me double check my feed one more time. And there we go. We're going to let that queue up there. Let me see. I've got a question from Emma. It says, a lot of your videos are shot in the woods. Did that influence how you wrote Golden? Good question, Emma. I do live out in the woods. Not in the woods, but I'm in the country, so I'm surrounded by trees, I'm surrounded by woods. But I would actually say that no, it did not necessarily influence how I wrote the woods in Golden, because the woods here are nothing like the woods in Golden. So we've got some trees, we've got a pond, we've got some stuff that, yes, is written into Golden, but not in the same way that it is in Golden. So here is not like there. There has far more trees. The pond is actually right in between the sizes of my pond. So I've got a big pond and a little pond, and this one is right smack in the middle of it. It is not as big as the big pond. It is not as small as the small pond, but it did influence it, I guess. So our ponds definitely influenced the pond within Golden. The forest, though, the trees, I don't think I've experienced a forest in person the way that it is written in Golden. So there's far more trees, there's cliffs, it's bigger, there's a lot more to it. My woods are smaller. Yes, I do have lots of trees, there's lots of space, but they're more spaced out. It's less rugged terrain, so it's more easy to get around here. So yes, I do have the advantage of being near the trees and near the forest in the woods, and I do get to see the sights and the sounds and the smells and all of that stuff, but it is not, like, I could not go out there and feel like that was within Golden. So that's my answer to that, kind of. It does definitely influence it, but not the way you think, and it's certainly not what I wrote into Golden. Okay, here we go. Is Jaded a retelling? Good question. That is a very good question, actually. Jaded is not a retelling. I have had a lot of people ask me that. I've actually heard some really good guesses for what it might be a retelling of, and one of them actually could potentially make a lot of sense. It could make a lot of sense. It is not a retelling, but it could potentially kind of be. I know what happens in the second book, which kind of takes it really far away from that, but it does have the kind of the feel of a fairy tale retelling, knowing that Golden is a retelling. So I think that's what people's hang up is, that I did one retelling, so this one could possibly be a retelling too. This is not, but I do see where some similarities could be once you have gotten through the whole thing and you kind of see where it's going with that. So yeah, I kind of see that. Okay. We're going to check this one more time. We're going to wrap this up because we've been at it for 20 minutes, which was just about my goal for this. So let me just check this baby one more time. Make sure I didn't miss anything. And check those notifications because we have the weirdness of the internet not cooperating with me today. I don't know what's going on. I might need to update my app or something. Okay. Awesome. 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 All right, so today we've talked about some really cool things. I think we're good with questions, but if you have more, leave them in the comments below. If you're watching a rebroadcast, leave those in the comments. If you are watching over on my website or on YouTube, hit me up in the comments and tell me what your questions are about Golden, about Jaded, about writing. Let me know what you want to know, and I will create more videos just like this for you to get these answered and get you whatever peace of mind that you want and whatever answers that you need about my books or about my writer life. I am always happy to help, so feel free at any point to reach out through my email, through my direct messages, through social media. You can find me on all social media platforms at k.m.robinson books, and you can reach out to me. Let me know what you're thinking. If you need help as a writer, if you need help learning social media, if you want help growing your book blog channel, I'm saying that wrong. If you need help growing your book blog brand or your YouTube channel, your BookTube channel, let me know because I am a social media strategist and I get paid to teach people how to do this, and I can teach you how to grow your brands and help a bunch of authors out, which is really awesome. Just let me know what questions you have and I'm happy to answer those in future broadcasts. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been really awesome. I know we talked just a little bit about Golden today. We talked a little bit about Eden. I've been getting some amazing quotes from you guys who have finished reading the story. Thank you so much. I love that you are in love with Dove Bear. I know a bunch of you are talking about how chatty that boy is, and a lot of you have said that Dove Bear is, oh gosh, what was that? The reason we have such high expectations for men, because he is just so awesome, and he's not closed off and he's not reserved like guys are in so many of these stories. He is a very connected human being, and it's really great to have that kind of look at how guys can be and hopefully should be, to be able to communicate with you and not hide from you, which I think is really important. But I love that you love Dove and that you are calling him your bae and your ultimate book boyfriend, and that you totally want to date him, which is kind of interesting for me to hear as the author. I love that you absolutely love him. I love that you are having such love for Illyria as well. I've been getting some really great comments about Eden. I've also been getting some amazing comments about Silas. If you hang out with me, you know that my artist is a little bit obsessed with Silas, so be careful, she might fight you on that. But I love hearing your comments. So if you have lovely comments, send them to me. I will feature them on my social media. So direct message me, send me an email. Let me know what you're thinking, because I want to hear what you have to think about Golden, Illyria, Dove, Deluria, which is the ship name for Dove and Illyria, and all of my other characters in Golden. And if you are really excited about Jaded, and I hope that you are, I have a special surprise for you, which I have kind of been talking about the last couple days on social media, but I know some of you may have missed it, so I'm telling you again. If Jaded sounds amazing to you, and I hope that you think it does, or if Golden sounds amazing to you and you have not read it yet, I do have the opportunity for you to read an excerpt from both of these books. So if you jump onto excerpt.k.m.robinsonbooks.com, you will get the first chapter and a half of Golden. Remember, chapter and a half. So you actually have to find where it ended off because it does not end at the end of chapter 1 and you will miss important information if you jump into chapter 2. And then I'm giving away the first 3 chapters of Jaded. You will get to meet Jaded. What? You'll get to meet Jade. You'll get to meet Roan. You will get to meet the commander. You'll get to meet a couple of other characters and really kind of get introduced to the world of Jaded and what this poor girl is going through as she's forced into this marriage and she has to try to survive. And we know that people are out to kill her, so it's going to be really good. You can get the first 3 chapters and take a look at both of my main characters, Jade and Roan. It's going to be good. And as always, if you have not read Golden yet, I hope that you will. I really hope that you will. It's an amazing book. I've been getting some amazing feedback. Thank you for that. You're kind of awesome. Jump on to excerpt.k.m.robinsonbooks.com. That'll kick you over to sign up to get the excerpt from both of these books. You'll get them both at the same time. It's going to be awesome. Plus, I have some extra bonuses for you. I do have things like a coloring sheet. I've got some really cool things video-wise. I've got some behind-the-scenes information that I'm giving out to you that's exclusive to being over there. So I hope you'll join me for that. It's going to be really great. Thank you guys. I see that some of you are still jumping on, so thank you so much. I am wrapping it up though. If you do have any last minute questions, you can pop those on and I will definitely get those answered for you in an upcoming video. I'm just trying to see if anything's going to register, but it's not refreshing on my phone. I'm sorry, it's not refreshing. But if you have questions, let me know. I will do more for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm seeing that you're still popping on. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you. We're going to do more of these. If you want to see more of these, let me know. All right. It is not refreshing for me, so I'm going to call it a day. Unfortunately, yay for technology. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm K.m. Robinson, author of Golden and author of the brand new series Jaded, which is coming out June 27th from Snowy Wings Publishing. You can now get your hands on a copy of Golden, also from Snowy Wings Publishing. It is available on all platforms that are selling books. Everywhere books are sold, you can get your hands on a copy of it. And check that out. You can also get those excerpts, excerpt.k.m.robinsonbooks.com. If you want to learn more about me, about my books, about what I'm doing, you can jump onto k.m.robinsonbooks.com and find me on social media at k.m.robinsonbooks on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. I would love to see you there. Make sure you're sending me messages, commenting on my things, because I want to know that you are there, you are involved. The more you are involved, the more questions you ask, the more comments you give me, the more things like this I can do. Plus, you know that I go a little bit more than most authors do because I have other areas of expertise as well that are very interesting to the book world. And I do things like design a book cover live on air with your help to decide what I'm going to do. I do different events. We do all sorts of amazing things that you don't normally see in the book world. I hope you will join me and be a part of those. It's going to be really awesome. I do have something really cool planned. I cannot tell you about it yet. I came up with it a couple of days ago and I've been working out the details, but I am going to be announcing that soon-ish. Soon-ish, maybe. We'll pretend it's soon-ish. And then get yourself signed up for the Jaded cover reveal because I have something big coming right after that. It's going to be awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys have a fabulous day. Stay inspired and hit me up on social media because I really want to hear from you and I want to know what you want to see more of on my author platform or on Reading Transformed or on K.m. Robinson Photography. You can totally comment on all of those. Let me know what's going on with you guys. Remember, I want to be friends with you. I want to have conversations with you. So please do not feel like I am someone you can't approach. I want to hear from you. I have a direct message inbox full of people over on Instagram talking to me. We're talking about books. We're talking about book boyfriends. We're talking about life. We're talking about costumes and wardrobe. We're talking about photo shoots. We're talking about conventions and all sorts of amazing things that, yes, sometimes have to do with my books and sometimes they don't. So get over there, check it out, and get in contact with me because I want to learn more about you guys. I want to know what you want to know more of. And if you've been following me, you know I've got a lot coming out in the next year or two. And I kind of want to see what you want more of because I'm doing this for you guys. So let me know what you want to see. You guys have a fabulous day. Stay inspired. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next time.